Welcome to Lead Your Life, the podcast for people who are seeking harmony in business and in life. My name is Debbie Heiser, and I'm an inner mastery and business mindset coach and the chief igniter here at the Lit Up Life. I feel an urgency to help people let go of past messaging so that they can make a lot of money doing what they love without sacrificing what they value most. Welcome. We're glad you're here.
Straight from the corners of my mind is where I find my sanity. It's a place, another land.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Lead Your Life with Debbie Heiser. My name is Debbie Heiser, and I am the founder and CEO of the Lit Up Life. And I just feel like life is too short not to be lit up, right? Like we might as well live a life we love and enjoy and get rid of guilt and shame and get rid of expectations that people have. So that's what I do. And if you're interested, give me a call. Let's talk about it. And in this recording, I'm going to remember to pause so that my awesome team can do their job. So if you didn't understand that, go back and listen to the last one. But this is kind of a secondary one off of this idea of true desires. And so the last time we talked about, looking at if you're searching for joy or you're searching for something, looking at your life today and saying, where do I have that right now? And focusing on that, because what we focus on gets bigger. Also looking at and realizing who you're not spending a ton of time on that, because you don't want the self-fulfilling prophecy of it getting bigger, but that's usually where people start. And that leads you then to figure out who you are and being able to define what success means to you. And then as you look at that, you prioritize then who you are and who you want to be. And it's really important. I've talked about the law of sacrifice before. It's really important to not don't spend time with people that attack your character or that attack some of your desires and dreams, right? Because they're coming at it from their own filter. So if you have a true desire, I'll give you an example. I was working with my coach the other day, and we were talking about kind of what I wanted my life to look like in the next 3 to 5 years. And looking at that, realizing that some of the people that I had looked at from a business perspective didn't have all that I wanted in everything else in my life, right? They might have had success in business and impact. They might have had relationship and they might have had financial gain, but they didn't have all of these other things. And in some cases didn't have relationship as far as like friends or a love interest. And so she said to me, find somebody, and usually they're famous people because that's who we see, or it could be people that have it all. Not just the people that have the good relationship, but then they struggle financially, but that have it all. And at first I was really challenged by this, and challenged in the fact too of thinking to myself, okay, so who do I know that has it all? And then I'm like, well, I know some people, but I need to think bigger than this, right? So I started to look at, and roll your eyes if you must, but I say that because I'm going to explain what happened. So I think, oh, okay, Oprah Winfrey built this mega empire that also has a loving and supportive husband. That's my perception. And she has Gail as a friend. She has places she travels, and she's doing things based on things she wants to do versus trying to make a paycheck. Then I thought, oh, look at Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson. They both have a fabulous relationship with each other. They both are doing work that they love. They're in a position where they do the work they want to do. Do you see a theme here? And then the third couple that I looked at was Kevin Bacon and Kara Sedgwick. I don't follow famous people necessarily on Instagram, but I follow them. They crack me up how they sing out in the barn and sing to the the goats and do little clips together, and they just have fun together, right? So I see them as having a great relationship, and they live in a place that they love. They hang out with farm animals, right? They're doing what they love. They're leading their lit up life. And those were the people then that I started to look at, this is possible. Now, I'm not saying that they don't have troubles. I'm not looking for a life that doesn't have troubles. Actually, that would be pretty boring. But looking at that, then what happened is I told a few people, and I got the eye rolls. I got the, well, that's what you perceive. And I'm like, well, yeah, because that's really all that's important in this exercise is that what I'm perceiving is that they have everything that I would like. Now, along with that, then it got me to start thinking about, where do I have fun? Where do I have supportive friends? Where do I have these things to make them get bigger? But it also showed me some things I don't have right now. Like I don't have a love relationship. I don't want to be alone the rest of my life. I don't know if I want to get married or not again. But the fact is I'd love to have somebody to spend some time with or go on some dates, right? Like not necessarily get super serious right away, but I don't put myself in situations to meet other single people. So it enlightened that, not from a judgment perspective, but it enlightened my true desires. Well, actually, it didn't enlighten my true desire. What it enlightened was whether or not I'm putting myself in a situation to be able to have my true desire, is really what happened. So I think about, there's this little book called E2, and this one that I have is super tiny because for those of you on video, you can see it. It's about a half the size of my phone. And it's 9 do-it-yourself energy experiments that prove your thoughts create reality. And I'm going to tell on a friend of mine, but one of the things is that you pick something that you're going to see. And she picked that she would see a turquoise flamingo. And you put a time limit on it. So she gave herself 48 hours. So she's like, oh, see, because our brain tries to collect evidence to go against what we're learning or to protect us and to not move forward with things. So she's like, oh, see, I didn't see a turquoise, almost like trying to prove it wrong, right? But then as she started to look at it, it enlightened the fact that she didn't put herself in a situation because she didn't leave her house for 48 hours. She works at home. She owns a business and runs it remotely at her house. And she hadn't left her house in 2 days. So she thought, oh, I need to do this experiment again because I haven't gone anywhere, right? Now, some people could argue that she could have looked out her window and a neighbor had one, whatever. But the point being is that part of the inspired action that goes with this is looking at and saying, right, like, I want to be open to the free Starbucks drink, but I also want to make sure I'm in the place to create opportunity for that. So she ended up going, I think it was a Target or somewhere with her daughter, and she looked over and here's one of those bins with stuffed animals in it, had a bunch of pink flamingos and one turquoise flamingo. Right. So it was pretty cool how that happened. And why I bring that up with this idea of true desire is that the universe is always working for us. We just have to take the blinders off and take the lenses that we look through life with and shift those lenses, because sometimes we're so focused on getting exactly what we want, being tied to the outcome, that ultimately we miss what's truly coming to us. Right? Like in the example that this client was talking to me about walking in and getting the free drink, if I would have been so focused on, or she would have been so focused on going in and placing the order that she wanted, I mean, just like so going at it, then she would have missed that opportunity. So hopefully that makes sense with that. So part of understanding your true desire is then understanding that the universe or God is always for you, even when it doesn't feel like it. Right? Even when it feels like things are pretty crappy and things are going wrong. And believe you me, I've had my share of tragedy. I've had my share of stuff that is not fun, right? The death of a parent who was my best friend. I shattered a tibia and was on crutches for 32 weeks. I got divorced. Like there's things in my life that have not been what I necessarily wanted it to be. But it's really then about backing up and understanding that, okay, what are some positive things that come out of this? And again, not putting a silver lining on it, but like I look at the death of my mother and how many people got a scholarship to help them with college to go to school because education was so important to her. And I look at the ways that I've grown from having her as my mom and missing her at times, right? And so like there's good that comes out of things that happen. And so I don't want it to feel like, oh, it's easy peasy lemon breezy, right? Like life happens and there's real emotion and anger and sadness and grief. But it's really about understanding if we have a true desire that regardless of those things happening in our life, we're going to continue to step forward. We're going to continue to believe that the universe is for us, that God is for us, that we're going to continue to understand that where I vibrate in an energetic perspective attracts what I want. So when I define success, and partially I'm bringing success in this with your true desire, because usually people, when they want something, they don't want it to go wrong, or, like, and I'm not big on right or wrong or good or bad, but hopefully the majority of people talk in that language. So I want you to understand that, like, it's not about that, but it's more about the fact that I'm going to figure out what success means to me, because my true desire, I don't want to show up and just be ho-hum. I don't want to show up in failure. It's just not an option for me anyway. And because even when I fail, I have successes out of it, right? So again, it's what that definition of success is for you. So I'm going to challenge you, and I know these were kind of shorter snippets here, but I want to challenge you actually to get this book and test it, right? And be open, because if it didn't come to you, be open to where you set yourself up for opportunity or where you didn't set yourself up for opportunity as the inspired action. And think too about, what is my desire? Don't get confused. Confusion is not the universe. Confusion is usually messages that you have. And I'm going to pause here for a minute and we'll finish and wrap this up. Let's face it, sometimes as an entrepreneur and a business leader, we need some guidance, support, and community. So we here at The Lit Up Life have 3 ways that you can work with us in order to achieve that. As a private client, we work together to quantum leap your business by discovering strategies to help you move past what's holding you back and allow you to identify what you want your life to look like. The result? Your business becomes the conduit to the lifestyle, success, and impact that you intend. Now, I'm a huge believer in the power of collaboration. So in our community masterminds, you can join in with other high vibrational business owners who want to level up, increase impact, and financial gain, all with a tribe of other women to support and encourage you on your journey. Currently, we're accepting application for this women's mastermind group, which is a year-long program for women in business who are ready for that next level of success. We create deep personal awareness in a safe and supportive space where you can experience growth with others who are on that same path. Through weekly sessions with our program coaches, teachings that go beyond the buzzwords, and immersive retreats in places like Mexico, the Dominican Republic, or Belize, we work together to create long-term abundance and lasting impact in your life and business. The last and final way to get involved with us is our group coaching programs. They provide the opportunity for teaching, masterminding, and feeling like you aren't alone on this ride. Come join us. Okay, welcome back. And I know this is kind of wrapping it up at the end here. And if you would like to talk more about this, if you have a desire, but you are confused, and I get it, I was there. I was confused about things I wanted to do. I was held back by people. Well, I mean, they didn't hold me back. I need to take responsibility. I chose not to go in certain routes, because of the feelings of support or lack of support from people in my life. And so I've been in those situations, and I'd be happy to chat with you about what success means to you and what desires you have in your heart. A lot of times we're told, even in society, right, that we shouldn't want more. I can't tell you how many times I talk to people that they have these desires. And when I say want more, it could be more impact. They want to be able to impact people's lives, and they want to be able to do these things. But then I hear them say, but that doesn't mean I'm not grateful for this. And do you hear the guilt and shame there, right? Like, and it's not that you're not grateful for what you have. It's not about all money. It's about, like, being able to step in and do what the universe has provided to you in this lifetime. So look for the joy, look for the happiness that you have now. Figure out, like, what is that true desire, and try to, like, figure it out without guilt and shame, without judging yourself. And if you're struggling with that, I mean, that's why I have a business coach. We get too close to our own stuff. Please sign up for a 30-minute clarity call, because I promise you, you'll be clearer after that 30 minutes than you were when you stepped into that call. So with that, folks, it's a wrap. Everybody have a fantastic rest of your day, and seek joy. That's a wrap for this conversation. I'm so glad you've joined us. Remember to subscribe to the podcast so you can catch all of our future episodes, and visit us at thelituplife.com for details on how you can become part of the Lit Up Life community. A quick shout out to my friend Jackie Wilson and her friends, the creators of our amazing theme music. Thanks so much for allowing us to share this perfect song with our listeners. Looking forward to having you listen in to our next episode.